back on board. It's now spring, so that's great. And the reason I'm filming this bit first, because this is the plan. So see this horrible looking thing? Well, that serves a purpose. That is sealing up the windows. So these ones are done. But as in the previous video, I have a bit of an issue with the sealant, and it does turn out that I did use the incorrect sealant. So they will have to come out and be redone at some point. But for now, not worried. The plan while I'm on this weekend is to, one of the jobs is to get the other windows out and to get some panels on in place of those. So it'll be a bit darker in here when that's done, but I've got lights. So I'll take you down below now and I'll show you what I'm doing with the paint. Down there is my work table, and those are my window panels, window blanks for the front and side windows. So yeah, have some fun with those when the time comes. So one of the other jobs, first job today, second job today really. So the first job was to get those panels painted so they could dry and I can get those on. So I need to flip them and do the other side. But then this next job I want to do while I'm here is to rig up the shore power, sort of a proper connection. So I'll come back to that. So what I have at the moment is just an extension lead, and that's running, that's that green wire, and it just runs down over the back of the boat, because the existing shore power connection was this Hubble connection. It's a 125, so it's US rated, and also the wiring that was here was just solid core 3-strand household wiring, and that's a no-no on a boat. Like you just you can't use that because the solid strand wire can fatigue, can fail through fatigue with vibration over time. So it's important to use multi-strand and proper wiring. So what I've got here is I made up, so I suppose I should say as well, I am an ABYC certified marine electrician, so I'm quite comfortable doing this. If you're not, don't follow my advice if you don't know what you're doing. It's basically it. This is just FYI. But what I have here is a new shore power cord that I've made up, and that's just got the conventional or normal plugs, the standard plugs, because let's be honest, they're super cheap and they work very well. A new consumer unit, because the old one was not very good and it didn't have enough outlets for what I want to do and for future expansion. Not going to use all of these breakers are in there. I'll come on to those in a minute. And then I've got a new shore power inlet and the cable from there, and this is all just going to be temporarily hooked up for now. So this is 2.5 square mil Arctic blue, so good cable, no issues with that, plenty of current rating for the length I'm going to need, and there's enough there. You can see in that coil, the reason I've got over is that I'm going to use 2.5 down to the calorifier heating element. Again, a little bit overkill, but it'll do the job quite nicely and I won't have to worry about it. So I've got extra there, but for now this is going to be a temporary hookup. I'm going to just put it on the side of the bulkhead there, that's the bit that's going to get cut off eventually. So and then this here is 1.5 square mil Arctic blue 3-strand, and that's going to be for the AC outlet. So I'm going to run that through the boat. I just won't cut it to length on this side, I'll leave it over length, and then I'm going to install some outlets. I'm going to put one there in the saloon, I'm going to do one in the galley somewhere around there, we'll find out in a minute, maybe over that side, that might be a bit better behind the cool box, and then one up forward. There is one forward, so I might just replace that with a double or find a new place in the forward cabin for it. So we'll have one up there as well. So that's going to be a bit of a job. Then the breakers, the circuit breakers. So I bought this consumer unit, it came with the breakers, they're really not expensive. But the breakers it comes with are single pole. So what it means by single pole is you have one wire in, one wire out. That's quite simply it. There's nothing else you can do with it. But British standard and good practice is to have a dual pole breaker. And that's a dual pole breaker. 2 wires in, 2 wires out. The reason for that, so on an AC electrical cable, you've got 3 wires. You've got a live, a neutral, and an earth. And because of the way that alternating current works, flicking between the live and the neutral, if your circuit breaker fails, you could still have one live line, potentially. So the double pole breaker, as you can see there, it's got neutral and live, or you might be able to see, but it's marked neutral and live. Sorry about the plastic still on this, I'll take it off in a minute. Neutral and live. And that, therefore, if the circuit breaker goes, it will trip both of the circuits, the live and the neutral cable. So that the earth's always connected, they are permanently connected, you never break an earth. But that's really good. It means that it's super secure, super safe. If a circuit breaker fails, we have no worries about any potential live AC wires still through the boat. So yeah, absolutely going to replace all of these breakers, all the ones we need, with double pole, and I'll get on with wiring that now. So that's the plan. All right, thanks. So as usual, one problem doesn't get fixed generally without finding another. Let me move this light. So as usual, to do one thing, got to do 2 other things, which is typical on a boat. But yeah, so running the wires in meant I had to take down some other bits. I needed to get rid of the water gas heater that was on here. So that's obviously decommissioned, but there was an aluminium bit of heat shielding here, and underneath it is this white panel, and this boat was built in 77, so I strongly suspect that is asbestos. So it's the sort of thing I just didn't expect to find there. It was an asbestos panel. It would have been there for the heat shielding, but you know, and the material they used back then. But my God, how dangerous is it now? And I've just been unscrewing and ripping down bits from there. So I'm going to put my mask on, respirator, and slowly and carefully pull that off. Wish me luck. So, end of day 1, I suppose, if you want to call it that. And I think it's definitely, as always, interesting. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and all that. Well, we have temporary shore power hook up, so that's good. That went well. That's, you know, like I said it in the previous clip, it's I've left it over length because we're going to need to tidy it, and I want to do all the cable runs properly. Plus the extra 2.5 Arctic blue length there is for the calorifier, because I want to do kind of want to oversize that wire. Not that it needs it massively, but I've got it there. So I've got 4 breakers, so I need a blank in the panel, and then gonna have calorifier, sockets, battery charger, and spare. So I'll have a spare, which is good. Because I may fit a second battery charger, because we're putting lithium on the boat. So I'll have a lead acid battery for the start, for the engine, and a lithium for the house. So I may put a second battery charger on just for lithium when we're on shore power, but to be decided, because otherwise it's a B2B charger and we're a bit limited on power then. But that's it, that's down the road, not worrying about that. So yeah, as you can see back there, the Arctic blue is not tidied, but it is at least where it needs to be. Socket down here, lovely jubbly. Socket in the galley, and then a socket. It's a bit dark, you can't really see, just about see. There's a double socket in there in our little wardrobe. So the step back, and again, excuse the flickering light. Right, heads. There you go. So that's new. We had the leak around the hatch, and that needed to be done. That's been sort of explained before. So that's fine, the hatch is out, and I've made a new surround for that. But what I found when I took it out is that the core, and you can see a bit up here, in this bit, the core is gone. So it just powdered, it got wet and it's dissolved. But the whole, hard to see now, but I mean you can see these dark bits here. So this is all still, and it's soaking wet. It is absolutely saturated. As I was cutting it, it was dripping out. So I'm going to have to open that out even more tomorrow. So yay, that will be fun. And we're going to have to re-core a lot of this area. So stand by for that one. It's not the end of the world. It's not the most difficult thing to do, but it's another job I didn't want to have to do. But at least Andrea will have a very clean headliner in here, because I'll have to refiberglass the whole lot. So yay, I suppose, for small mercies. But yeah, that's going to have to be chopped out. So that'll be a tomorrow job now. And I did not get started on the windows, or I might pop a few screws out now, so at least they're done for tomorrow. I don't want to get as much done as I can while I got light, but I'm a bit icky after that grinding, so it does very much feel like shower and beer o'clock. But yeah, let's see how we go. All right, over and out for today. Hasta tomorrow. All right, lovely people. Well, another day. So yeah, we have window blanks in. Don't worry about the little holes up here. That's where it was used on another window. I will just cover those in tape on the outside. That one doesn't get much weather anyway. But yeah, the window blanks are in. And that one's obviously old school style. These ones I had to do by myself, so a little bit different fastenings. And then yeah, these are the existing two windows. So I've got all of the windows out. They will come back with me. There are the inner frames. They will come back with me as well. And then the heads. So that was where I had a bit of a tidy up, but I had to because I created so much dust. So let's see if it stabilizes in the light. Yeah, it does. Good. Hard to see maybe, but there is a massive amount removed. And including the raid vent that was there as well, because everything, it's balsa core, and it hadn't been, the main issue was this hatch, this square hatch in the middle up there. That had been leaking and it just saturated the core, and you can see there was some damage and voids, and there's still, I'll have to let it stabilize a bit. You can see some pockets where it's damp even further back. I think those are from internal fastenings, so fastenings that have gone up from the bottom and made it wet, because there's nothing around there. It hasn't, like, there was dry before it, then it got damp again. You know, I've just basically cut this out to a shape that I can easily cut from PEX foam and bond in. But yeah, that was, you know, so I'm going to let those dry. I will grind them out a bit more, go a bit deeper. There's one up here behind the light as well. But yeah, got some work to do with that. And I have to do some, and the tabbing. There is no tabbing now at the top of this bulkhead. And the reason is the tabbing wasn't stuck to the bulkhead. So as I was cleaning things up, I noticed a bit it was loose. And then it's like a thread. You pull it and it just keeps on going. So huge amount of work to actually remove all of that. Now I need to re-tab the bulkhead in. I was going to put some new tabbing on anyway, so I'm glad I found it in one regard. But yeah, I need to do some more prep now on this side and really neaten that up. I've got to remove all of that grey, is like a fairing compound, and I really need to remove as much of that as possible to re-tab everything in. I don't really have to do that side, but as I'm going to have to fiberglass over this down onto the bulkhead, I might just as well. And I'm going to put, that whole side is going to get a one layer of chop strand mat, because you can see where I've cleaned it and prepped it up, it's gone a bit thin in some places. So I'm just going to put one layer of matte over there, and then it will be super strong and watertight. And also, oh, look at this, we love old boats and finding things. So the chain plate, fine, onto the bulkhead, no problem, but they cut out the bulkhead to make it fit quite wide. It wasn't just drilled up at the top to suit the bulkhead width. I will never know, but either way, that chain plate's going to have to, deck fitting's got to come out anyway, so that chain plate will come out, and then I'm going to glass, when I tab down over, I'll actually lay some glass over that, so then when it kind of adds a bit of reinforcement and seals the bulkhead. So you know, wonderful. Marine ply, cut it back, why not? No idea what it's like on the other side. I'll get to that in another. Well, the mid cabin's not a focus right now. Getting a toilet is. So we are. I keep saying I'm really ready to put this thing together, and then it never really happens because I keep finding other things. Got to be nearly ready now. Surely this is nearly ready now. This bit of wood at the back there, that was when we started laying out for the countertop, believe it or not, but that's all changed. So yeah, we'll get there. Hopefully not too long. Right, that's it for, and then I mean, dust everywhere again. I was in the good old Tyvek, the white suit, so everything's covered in a fine layer of dust, even though I've cleaned as much as I can. We'll be finding dust for months on this boat, but hey, it's a project. Right, that's it for now. Sun's setting, so it's time to get showered and get some food. Catch you tomorrow.